another episode of Becoming Her. This is your girl, Julia Brunetti.
And this is your girl, Nina Simone.
And today we have a very special topic. Today we'll be talking about love languages. So how they affect our own personality and our relationship with others. Do we have an icebreaker for today?
Oh, you know what? I didn't plan anything for today. So really, unless you have an idea.
No, I think we can just dive right into it.
Yeah.
I'm just honestly very excited to talk about this. So
I guess though, first, an icebreaker could be like, what is your love language?
My love language, that's a good point to get to know each other. So definitely my love language is physical touch. That's the one that
you like to receive physical touch, or you like to give it?
So actually, fun fact, psychologically, most of the time people, whatever love language you like to receive, that's the one that automatically you give.
True.
The challenge here, which is what we're going to talk about today, is learning what yours is, learning what the other person's is, and then love them based on their love language. But yes, normally that is how I feel loved, and that's also how I'm going to love. Like once I love someone, like even if it's my friend, I'm going to want to hug them, be all up on them.
Yeah.
Like, we fight every other day because I want to hug you. She doesn't. No, but what's your love language? Well, definitely not physical touch.
No. But no, in a romantic relationship, I do love physical touch. But like my just regular would probably be quality time. And I wonder, are we talking about romantic relationship or friendship, or it doesn't
I think just in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say in general, not necessarily specific to
okay. So if we're doing it in general, then I would say probably words of affirmation.
Okay, I can see that.
Honestly, like receiving it. Now, giving it in
so like that vocal reassurance.
That helps me a lot, yeah. And then it would probably be acts of service, like me giving. So yeah.
You giving, okay, acts of service. But not receiving? You feel like it wouldn't be for receiving?
I think I do. I appreciate acts of service for sure from other people as well. So yeah, I would say that's one of my top ones.
But that's just receiving a way to show up for other people.
Yeah.
Gotcha, makes sense. Well, so I'd say, I'll leave you to kind of get a little bit more into deep as far as what the 5 love languages are. But I think that the way that this relates to becoming her is because this is just an additional awareness. We talk about awareness a lot of times. Awareness gives you choice. So understanding your own love language, it allows you to understand your own emotions. And at the same time, also be able to have a healthier dynamic with the other people, because you can understand that you have to communicate what you want. You can't expect someone to just hug you out of nowhere, especially if that's not their love language, when that is yours. So it just enables you to be more understanding of yourself, of other people, and to have healthier relationships. But we mentioned 3 of them. So I'd say for most of the people do know what love languages are. And
mostly.
Also find a test online where they ask you a lot of different questions, and they'll be able to help you figure out what your love language is if you don't know which one it is. But for who doesn't know the 5 love languages?
The 5 are, okay, so you have words of affirmation, like we were just saying. You have quality time, like I just mentioned. Acts of service as well. You have physical touch and gifts. So those are the 5 love languages. And now we just want to share some quick everyday examples. So let's do...
let's get more into the...
Let's do romantic and platonic. So that we can go like dive into each one, each love language romantically and platonically. So as far as an example for maybe physical touch when it comes to the platonic relationships, just like she was saying, like hugging, that would be...
Pause. Italian here. What you mean by platonic? Define platonic.
Oh, platonic is just like friendship.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
so
actual, like,
nothing
love.
romantic. Yeah, nothing romantic. So like me and you would be a platonic relationship. Me and Shamari's relationship is platonic. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Me and Chris Brown. It's a real love relationship, you know?
I cannot. Okay. So an example would be hugging, like friendships and relationships. You hug. You know? Now romantic. I was thinking. Romantic though, the dude might slap the booty, or
Well, romantically, I'm sure it would be like kisses, holding hands,
more intimate. Yeah. Okay, so words of affirmation, that could be like in a friendship. Maybe when you tell me like, "Girl, you're so beautiful," you know what I'm saying, and I'll be like,
"She is."
Stop it, like that's an example of a platonic words of affirmations. And then when you're in a relationship, maybe I love you. Mm-hmm. That's a good reassurance, words of affirmation. Or what has somebody said to you in a relationship that made that was words of affirmation?
I'm not the best. No, I think for me, it's just for words of affirmation. It's just the support, it's just the support of maybe I'm having a bad day, but it's oh, it's okay. You're doing great. It's just a bad day,
encouragement,
the encouragement of okay, this is not just cheer up, it's the emotional support, the, what's the word with the seam? Not comprehensive. That's what are you trying to say? Comprensione would be in Italian. Just the understanding. You know what I mean? The consideration.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then so we did physical touch. We did words of affirmation. What's another? I forgot that quick. Acts of service.
Acts of service. Yeah.
So
I think that's beautiful. Though.
Yeah, in friendships, how do you?
I think I operate a lot with acts of service.
I think you do. It's
too. I see you, with a bunch of chairs. She doesn't even have to ask me, "Oh, can you help me with the chair?" No, I already see that she got 7 chairs in her hands.
Yeah.
And I'm "Oh, do you want help?" Or after class, she has 13 backpacks.
No, literally.
It's true. She
literally.
has the backpack with the camera and the backpack with the other things. So I'm
it'd be a lot.
Yeah.
So just kind of paying attention and noticing when somebody needs help, but. Then you don't even have to ask. Do you need help? Just go ahead and help them. That is a great.
In an actual relationship, I think it would be you get home at 7 p.m. I get home at 8 p.m. Okay, well, I already know that when she gets home, she's gonna have to do the dishes or move the clothes from the washer to the dryer. Let me just do that for her. So it's really having that consideration to, I think, take something, it's the details, is the taking something off of somebody's plate without you having to ask. It's just I see what you have on your plate and I want to make it easier on you. Mm-hmm. So, and it just comes naturally,
Yep.
So,
and for me, I would say kind of like what you were saying, acts of service, just helping me pick up stuff without even having to ask. I think I've mentioned that to you before. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to men. I expect them to do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I think that for us, it's because we're such independent women that it's we don't necessarily like to ask, hey, can you do this? Because then last thing I want, and it's I don't want somebody to be oh, well, I did this, and that to you. Well, okay, thank you. I could have done it by myself.
Don't rub it in my face.
If you're going to do it to then rub it in my face, and just don't
then don't even do it at all because it's not genuine.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then in a romantic relationship, acts of service for me looks like exactly what you said, just taking something off of the man's plate, or just paying attention to maybe something that I noticed that he likes and maybe picking it up for him and surprising him with it, or that's kind of gifts too.
I'm gonna make you a soup.
Yeah. But just kind of doing something that is out of thoughtfulness, basically. That's kind of how I would describe the acts of service. But yeah.
Well, and since you said that word thoughtfulness, I think the next one I want to talk about is the gift giving. Because I think that a lot of people have a misconception of gift giving as materialistic.
Yeah.
It's not.
And it don't have to be
it's about the thoughtfulness behind it. It can really just be oh, I saw this one daisy in this field of grass. It was the only
and that's a gift for me.
Think about you. There you go. And it's oh my God. It's genuinely is just the thoughtfulness of
picking up my favorite chips from the store
because I know that these are your favorite.
And then not another one. You go in the gas station and I'm in the passenger seat waiting on you, and you just come out with my favorite drink and my snacks. Man, that's it. I don't need $100. I don't need, whatever, shoes, blah, blah, blah. All of that is a bonus. The little things matter.
It's not about the diamonds. Yeah. It's not about the branded stuff. It's really just about the consideration, the thoughtfulness behind, I saw something, it made me think about you. And it can really even just be a note, a good morning note.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that would be that's so romantic.
I know.
I'm that's so romantic. But,
we're spitting game.
No, literally. Quality time as well. How do you spend quality time with friends? And then how do you spend quality time in a relationship?
So I think that for me, quality time, it's really like we don't necessarily have to do much as long as like you're present. It's more about, you know, like it's like if we're together and you're just on your phone and maybe I'm talking and, you know, you're just not even like looking at me, paying attention, listening. That's not going to, playing video games, that's not going to be quality time because I'm just sitting in the room with you while you play video games. You know what I mean? Different is like we're watching a movie together. Yeah, we're still sitting in the room, but I know that that time is being invested in each other. So, that's a bit different. But I am the type of person that likes to do things and activities. Yeah, you are. Yeah. So for me, quality time, it is still, you know, sharing experiences together. Like, for sure. Like, let's go to the museum or, you know, even if it's just a walk, you know, let's go take a walk in the park and talk. You know, just hold hands and look at nature. I'm very romantic. I'm like in this little wonderland. But
hey, that man is out there somewhere. Okay. So for me, quality time looks like kind of like what you said, like he's on the game and I might be doing my own thing, but we're just together. I just enjoy the presence of a person. So for me, I feel like that is quality time. I'm like, I could be editing my videos while you're on the video game, but we sitting right next to each other and I'm still like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's I think where the fine line is. Like I agree with that because like you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, but at the same time though, there has to be like you can't be like, oh, we were together all day. Well, no, we were not.
Yeah, that's true. That's like, true. I see what you're saying.
We were. Because it happened to me that someone told this to me, you know, like I would be maybe on my phone or doing my things and he would be playing video games and, you know, I'd be like, well, I feel like we haven't really spent time together. And he'll be like, what do you mean? Like we spend the less, you know, like the whole night we were together. Well, not really because we're in the same room, but I was doing something, you were doing something. So at the end of the day, like that was physically being together, but it wasn't quality time. Like we were just in the same room, just doing different things. So that's okay as long as after it's like, okay, I've had enough of my work. I played enough video games. Let's just cuddle on the couch.
That makes so much sense.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I've always considered that quality time. But yeah, I feel like somebody has done that to me too, where they're like, well, we were together. And I was like, but we didn't really talk. You know? We weren't really talking, you know? But that's real. So yeah. Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out because I'm gonna start thinking about that too, and be more intentional about my quality time. Yeah, because that's important. And then the last one was, I think that was it. Words of affirmation. We did quality time. We did acts of service.
Yeah, we talked about all of them. So just I guess a quick recap. Quality time is just being able to spend time with each other, giving attention to each other. Gifts giving. It's not about materialistic, but it's about the thoughtfulness behind thinking about somebody else. Words of affirmation is about just supporting, you know, like just being present, like with word. Maybe I think words of affirmation, a lot of people are going to need a little bit more texting, a little bit more calling maybe as well. And then acts of service. Which one? Oh my goodness.
I'm like, dang, which one were we on?
Right.
It's hard to keep track.
And then physical touch, of course, that's just the physical as the word connection, being able to, you know, be physically together.
Yeah. So with that being said, also knowing that these love languages do apply to self-love. So not only are you doing this for somebody else and somebody else is doing it for you, you have to be able to apply these love languages to do it to yourself. That increases your self-love, that increases the chances of becoming her, okay? Or becoming him. So
how do you think you can apply
to yourself? I would say, so quality, I'm sorry, if it opened that door. So quality time, I would say like planning out solo dates, you know, like spending that quality time with yourself.
Because you don't necessarily need somebody.
You don't. And I used to be that way. I used to feel like, oh my God, I have to have somebody to go to the movies with me or go out to eat with me. And you really don't. Like,
go watch that movie.
Yeah, okay. Now, I feel like another reason why I didn't like going by myself at one point was too because as a female, I don't really like just kind of being out by myself. You know, it is kind of, the world we live in now is kind of crazy. Yeah, but, you know, you can't live your life like that. So, yeah, you cannot.
Better bring that knife and pepper spray.
Okay, you gotta have something. But yeah, just planning out solo dates for yourself when it comes to quality time. What else? Physical touch. Dance for me is my physical. Yeah, that is my physical touch. That is me giving myself, you know,
I feel like it could even be, you know, like doing a face mask, you know, like where, you know, like rubbing your feet.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll be doing that sometimes.
Really? I need to start doing that.
Yes. If I like my feet.
I might have to do that.
Sometimes I just sit there and I'm like,
Yeah, but I think dance
Or
is
one thing
big.
that I do, I often just like rub my
Caress your hair and
yeah.
stuff. Oh, that's cute.
Or
Look,
like sometimes I just do this. I'm like it. But no, but for real though, it does make me feel better. Or I just grab my dog and just like squeeze my like, well, you're gonna be forced to give me love and affection.
Because I mean, you're not always gonna have somebody there to touch you and give you that. So you got to be able to figure out ways to do that for yourself. And for me, that's through dance.
Yeah.
What is the other one?
Let's go order,
I know. Words of affirmation, just positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Doing affirmations.
Absolutely.
Journal your affirmations, whatever you got to do. And then we got gifts. That's the last one. I don't know. I don't really gift myself.
I will give a shout out to Shamari, which a few episodes ago, he said that every single paycheck he buys something for himself.
Oh, he did say that.
Told him that. And period, Miss, I don't know her name.
He did say that.
But I love that because, like, you know, every single paycheck, it's like if you know that makes you feel good, you know, to get something, be thoughtful towards yourself. You know, get your nails done, or you don't want to spend that much money, go to the nail store and just get the $10 nails.
Okay.
Or, you know, like get you a cute little shirt. You're a food person, get you your favorite
go out
food
to eat. Yeah.
You know, your access, like just whatever it is, just do a little something for yourself. Get you a little something. That's okay.
Because I treat myself, okay? But me giving myself gifts is food. Because I love food.
Yeah.
I love me some food. Period.
Yes. So we talked a little bit about love languages, which ones are ours. I did mention that there is a test. Maybe we can put it in the link in the bio.
Okay, yeah.
But
have you taken a test before?
I did.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, there was a time where I would go to everybody and be like, take the test. But it's because like I'm a very understanding person. So I genuinely wanted to, I always have in my best interest, not only understanding myself, but I also want to understand the other people, because that also helps me understand how to move with you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like I understand what to maybe like, you know, not get triggered by, because I'm like, okay, like I know, for example, in our case, I know that I shouldn't feel that type of way if she doesn't want to give me a hug, because it's not, no, but it's a feasible example, because I know that it's not her that doesn't care about me, or, you know, whatever the case may be.
No.
It's just not how she is. So it's like she shows me, you know, she shows up for me in other ways, and that's okay. But that's why it's important to understand it. So we'll link in the description the link to take the test if anybody has interest in it. But you can easily Google it, you know, love language assessment test, and it'll pop up. It'll pop up. So this next section we're gonna be about setting boundaries, which we slightly touched it. At the end of the day, I think that setting boundaries is really just being able to communicate with your boundaries, so what your love language is, and then the other person supposedly is supposed to do the same. Now, I think that the key factor for a healthy relationship, in a friendship, or, you know, more loving situation, is having both people being aware and willing to understand. Because if I'm doing the work to understand what my love language is and to understand what your love language is, but you don't give at all, any givens.
No, literally.
You know? Then we're not gonna go anywhere, because I'm here, you know, trying to be understanding and trying to understand your ways, but you're not trying to understand mine. So it's not a two-way street. It ends up being just a one-way. So I do think that it is important to have people.
Yeah, and you have to understand your love language first. That is the most important thing, because some people don't even know how they want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? And that starts with, again, applying these love languages to yourself first. You have to be able to understand and acknowledge, okay, this is how I want to be loved. This is what makes me feel good, and blah, 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 blah. When you do that first, then it's going to be easier to go ahead and let somebody communicate that and articulate, like, this is what makes me feel good. And are you going to be able to do that? You know what I'm saying? And if not, that probably isn't the person for you romantically. But you know what I'm saying? It starts with you first. And a lot of people kind of get that misconstrued. They think that somebody else is supposed to show them how they want to be loved. Now, you can learn in different relationships. I've learned I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Or this doesn't work for me, or, oh, this made me feel good. You know, like starting to take those notes and take inventory like that. But other than that, you got to start with yourself for sure.
And I think there was another thing that Shamari, he actually had said in our previous episodes. But he mentioned, I want to say he said that there, but he mentioned, you know, for example, flowers. You can't necessarily expect someone to just get you flowers if you never even communicated that you like flowers, you know? And you can't get mad like, oh, you never bought me flowers. Well, I didn't know you like flowers. You know what I mean?
Now.
So it's like, I understand as a girl not wanting to ask for flowers because then it doesn't feel as genuine.
Yeah.
But there are ways that you can kind of sneak it in. So for example, buy flowers for yourself. Again, feed into yourself. And then maybe you can send him a picture like, oh, I just bought these beautiful flowers. I love the colors. So it's like, okay, that's just me throwing it there, like, showing you, hey, I like flowers. I buy myself flowers. So
planting that little seed.
Exactly. Planting that little seed, But you have to communicate what your needs are in order for someone to even attempt to meet those needs.
That's true.
Otherwise, you can't necessarily be upset if that person, because every single person is different. As far as you know, the girl before you, she hated flowers. So maybe that man never had to buy any flowers, because I know my best friend in Italy, she don't do flowers. She's allergic. So she's like, please do not buy me flowers. Like, do not buy me flowers.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do think that all 5 love languages are equally important. I do think that all 5 of them present each other within a person. However, there is normally 1 or 2 that stick out more than the others. And it's totally okay to maybe, hear about love languages and be like, oh, well, I mean, like, this is not really me. That's totally okay. Like, I don't think you should be all 5 of them, in full out.
Yeah.
Because that point may be like, I don't know, maybe you require a little touch.
Now, but I do believe that
they should all show up.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that. I didn't know how to word it, but yes, exactly. But like she said, if you expect all of them 100%, that is kind of a lot.
Yeah. I don't think you should expect all of them at 100%, but they all are gonna be present, because at the end of the day, Valentine's Day comes in. I don't care anything about gifts, but if you give me a $50 gift card, am I gonna enjoy the $50? I will, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, I like Chris Brown. No, but for real, like, my favorite color is purple. Like,
just paying attention. That is a big thing.
Exactly. Because it goes behind it's really just knowing that person. And that's when it comes back to understanding each other. Because at that point I'm understanding, what do you appreciate? Like, I can buy you trolleys if you like M&M's. I don't know. Because you'll be like, well, thank you, I appreciate the trolleys, but So it's like, I appreciate the thought, but you just got me something because you were trying to give me something, Yep,
and that's nice, but, we got to be more intentional.
Yeah, and that is still appreciated, but yes, it's the intention behind it that does make it a little different.
So,
it's like me getting you, I don't know, what's the... I was trying to make like I'm anecdote to it. It's like me getting you a cowboy shirt, but you like Warriors. It's like, I appreciate that I have a cowboy jersey, but I don't
like the Cowboys. No, for real. So that's
like,
how it be.
I have a cool jersey now, but I don't.
But most people be like, oh, well, she's from Dallas, so she's gonna like the Cowboys, and that's not true. Like, my parents do not like the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to surprise them with a gift, like, or some apparel from the Cowboys,
they'd be like, for your whole life, and you don't know we don't like Cowboys, Like,
for real.
Have
you not paid attention? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about paying. Like, they have never had to tell me like, oh, I don't like the Cowboys. I just pay attention. I hear the conversations, So also being an attentive person, not even a partner, but an attentive person is going to help you understand somebody's love language as well. So yes, communication is needed. Yes, you have to be able to, again, articulate how you want to be loved and what makes you feel good. But you also need, as the other person outside looking in, you need to be able to be attentive as well. And they shouldn't have to tell you every little thing. You know what I'm saying? That makes them feel good. Because again, that's where the thoughtfulness comes in, and it's like, dang, you surprised me with that. I didn't even tell you, but oh my God, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is so sweet. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. So this next segment is becoming the best me. All right, and basically we're just going to share how we kind of implement love languages into our daily practices. So for me, I definitely focus a lot on physical touch, like I said, because I dance. And for me, physical touch is one of my love languages. It's one of my top ones anyways. So I think that me dancing, that's how I implement physical touch into my daily life. And then as far as, what's another one? Words of affirmation. I'm not really an affirmation person, but I do journal a lot, and I guess in a way I am affirming myself in my journal, because I will, speak positively about myself. I'll be like, I'm proud of you, or I'll be like, good night, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to end, yeah. So in a way that is me affirming myself. But I do, like V was telling us, I do want to be able to start, speaking out loud. And I mean, that just comes with like getting in front of the mirror, or just waking up and being like, girl, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you're so beautiful, or you're the best blah, blah, blah in the world, or, just kind of putting that out into the atmosphere, because I think it sticks more when you actually hear it.
Say it out loud,
yeah. But what about you? Any of them that you practice daily? And how do you practice them daily?
I think that I just found out that I need to practice love languages on myself.
On yourself? Don't it? Isn't it crazy? Because now that we've talked about this, I'm like, I don't think I do it a lot to myself.
Because I'm gonna be completely honest, but it's like, I agree. When I dance, that does feed into my my physical touch. But I don't dance every day, and like there definitely are moments where maybe I feel like I'm lacking, physical affection.
Like just hugging yourself, maybe.
I don't even do that. I just go in bed and cry.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, maybe we should just start hugging ourselves and like, just kind of giving ourselves.
But then that makes me feel even more lonely. I'm just here hugging myself, because nobody's hugging me.
No,
I don't know. I feel like I have to figure out. For some in my work, hug yourself, like high school, like maybe, maybe it works, but I don't think it would work for me. But
that's actually very funny. Okay.
But that's definitely gonna be my to do for this week.
Okay.
The steps that I'm gonna do to becoming her. Just focus love languages on myself a little more. But I was saying maybe just words of affirmation, because I tend to journal. So when I journal, I do tend to be more kind to myself too, encouraging. Like, hey, this is what you're feeling. It's okay. I'm proud of you. You're processing it a different way than you would have in the past. Blah blah blah. But at the same time, that is something that I tend to do more when I'm in my feelings, not as much, like if I'm good, I'm most likely not gonna journal.
Really? Yeah, that's how I was at one point, just not too long ago. And I was like, I gotta start doing better with that, because I don't wanna always look back in my journal and just read over like when I was in my feelings or the harder times. I wanna look back and be like, dang, this was a good day too, you know what I'm saying? And remember that and reflect on that. So I feel you on that.
It's definitely something that I feel like it's a tool that I use more to cope. But it's not just like a persistent, I guess, in my everyday life tool that I use to celebrate wins. It's more just something that I use to cope with my feelings, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
Actually, I'll take that back though, because there is one thing, like the gift giving, I don't let me miss anything. I want flowers, I'm gonna give me flowers.
Period, as you should.
Like whatever I want, to the limit of my financials.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you gotta be smart.
Actually not even, because I want Chris Brown ticket. I ain't got the money for Chris Brown ticket, but I'll find the money for Chris Brown ticket. So yeah, gift giving, I'm the best at that. Like, I'm gonna give some tips to that. I definitely.
Well, what about quality time? I feel like I spend a lot of quality time by myself, pretty daily.
I do too. I mean, I do. I just don't know if I can define it quality. I think that at times it is quality time, and then at times it's actually like in my waste zone almost, if you can say. Okay. Like yesterday was a bad day for me. I literally spent the whole day in bed. I was just watching TV, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. I genuinely just felt very low. But then we go again, the tools that we've been talking about this whole time. I started journaling. I was like, okay, I'm getting in my head, let me go for a drive. I went on the drive. I listened to a podcast while I was on the drive. The moment I got back home, it's like everything didn't go away because it was still there, but I understood everything that I was going through. I understood why I was feeling certain emotions, and it just gave me power over them rather than those emotions having power over me. Because I really just like forced myself to push through them, to just be like, okay, like why am I feeling this way? And I looked for resources, whether that was me talking to myself through journaling or podcasting to better understand myself and my emotions, and that was the key there. I was like, okay, I feel better now.
Okay. So this week, which is a good segue into this, this week we both need to do some exploration, and this goes for the audience as well. We want you guys to do a week-long experiment, okay, on your primary love language each day. So every day, do something that make sure you're pouring into yourself in a way that correlates to one of these love languages. So whichever one is your primary one. For me, I'm going to say quality time is my main one. So this week, I'm going to try to make sure every day I'm spending some sort of quality time with myself. Whether I go out to eat by myself or go do something by myself. What about you?
I think I'm definitely going to focus on quality time too. Because same thing, I think that sometimes I wait on other people, you know, to enable myself to spend quality time. But cause same thing, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do it alone.
Yeah.
You know, like who knows what happens.
Right.
But when I do those things alone, as far as quality time, then I feel so great.
What about, matter of fact, talk about your trip you took by yourself.
Yes, actually, it was back in Thanksgiving. I've been wanting to go on a trip. I was asking different people, like, you want to go on a trip? Nobody wanted to go on a trip. Or nobody could. And then eventually, there were 4 days that I had off for Thanksgiving, and I was like, you know, like, it was just so impulsive. Like, I literally booked it Wednesday for Thursday, like the day before.
Period.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go by myself, just me and Breezy, my dog. And so I booked it. I went, and it was honestly so mind blowing to me. It was so mind opening because it was pure quality time. I was not using my phone. I mean, I was using it to listen to music, but I wasn't on social medias unless I was maybe posting a picture of, you know, the beautiful scenery. Yeah. I just brought, you know, like cross stitch, just like crafty things that I like to do to be in my own company. And yeah, like it was just a week. Aliensenia. I wonder how to say that.
I'm like, what does that mean?
I know, right? It was just a week to the. Not to the. I'm gonna say that. It was just a week that was around just me spending time with myself and, you know, loving myself. I was cooking for myself, so acts of service. You know, I was cooking good ass meals too. Because sometimes I'd be lazy. I'm home alone and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat a salad or I'm just gonna make me a sandwich. You know? But I was like, no, I'm gonna take care of me.
I love that.
And that was beautiful. Matter of fact, I should probably try to do that more often. That's a good thing.
Because when you went, I was like, dang, I kind of want to do that myself too. But again, just the nervousness of like being out somewhere by yourself for a weekend. And I'm like, I commend the solo travelers because, you know, that's people's jobs where they just travel solo by themselves and document, you know, what they're doing. And I commend them because I am so nervous to like,
I think
travel
that you just
by
have
myself.
to push yourself to go over that initial fear. Because there was a night I remember where I really, I never had s'mores in my life, ever. Like, that's not something that we ever did in Italy. Yeah. And I bought the stuff for the s'mores because I know that they had a fire pit, and I was like, I'm gonna do s'mores when I'm there. Okay. And the moment that I turned on the fire, which by the way, I was so terrified that I was gonna set on fire the whole forest, but the moment I turned on that fire and I sat next to it, yeah, it was just pitch black in every direction. The only thing that you could see was just the little tiny hole. And in my mind, I was like, man, I'm either about to be devoured by a bear, or maybe I'm like, which one is worse, the man or the bear? So, you know, so I was like, but in my case, I had my dog with me, which he helped me feeling safe because he's a very big on alerting. So the moment he would hear, like at one point he got alerted, I looked and it was a cat. So I was like, okay, I know you're going to alert me though. Yeah. So that helped me out into feeling more comfortable, but I had to push through that, you know, initial fear. In my mind, I was still like, okay, if somebody comes, I know what I'm going to do. There was a hot ass spiky thing. Okay. I'm like, you know. So I
come over here if you want to.
You know, I was mentally ready, but I wasn't letting the fear stop me because I genuinely wanted to enjoy that moment of me sitting in front of the fire making s'mores.
Oh, yeah. So, you guys, I hope that encourages y'all to like, you know, step into your quality time and do something that you know might be uncomfortable, because for me a solo trip is very uncomfortable, but I do want to experience that. And
maybe for you can do it, you know, somewhere where in a resort, you know, because you know that our resorts would be it might be a little more expensive, but it's a little bit more protected. Maybe
baby steps. I could like go somewhere in Dallas by myself and stay for a weekend.
I would still go away from Dallas though.
You think?
Maybe do Arkansas.
But I'm like,
or maybe do Houston. You know, like if there's a place where you traveled a lot and you're kind of comfortable with that place. You know, maybe do Houston, you know. Now, for me, I know that I generally was drawn by nature. So I wanted to be around nature.
That makes sense.
That's because I like hiking. I connect with nature a lot. It might not be the same for you. So if for you, it's more just
figure it out, kind of.
You know, if for you, it's just more about taking a break from everyday's life. Maybe like a nice hotel room with a bathtub might be more than enough for you.
Yeah, literally for the weekend.
Honestly, me too.
No, for real, that'll get the job done. Okay. So we hope that encourages y'all. If you've ever taken a solo trip, let us know in the comments, because that is something that I feel like quite a bit of women are kind of scared to do. So let us know if you've ever done that and what your experience was like, for sure. Period.
And then, as we always do, before we leave you guys, we're going to end it with one question, which for today is going to be, how do you feel when you receive love in your primary language, and what changes when you intentionally give the same type of love to others?
Ooh. Okay, so how do you feel?
So the first one. So how do you feel when you receive love in your primary love language? So when you get loved the way that you want to be loved.
Okay. So how do I feel whenever I get the quality time that I'm looking for? I feel full. Like, and I'm gonna say words of affirmation. So those are my top two. When I receive those things, like, I just feel like the most amazing girl in the world. You know, it just makes me feel really good. Internally, I feel like I'm just feeling full, like I'm fulfilled. Oh, look what I did there. But I'm very, no, for real.
The healing part, not with the heels, but what we should do how to practice full healing.
Okay, literally. Okay, HEAL, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Period. But yeah, I just feel very fulfilled whenever when I receive those two things. Yeah, that's all I can say.
I feel like for me it would be, I would feel seen, I would feel
heard, yeah, that's true.
Because it's like, man, like that means a lot. Like, you're taking your time to understand the way that I feel loved and appreciated, and then you're also taking the time to put that into practice.
Yep.
So I would be like, whoa, like this person really sees me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Because I actually was just, I had a conversation with somebody about that the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that just kind of makes me feel seen and heard and understood. So I said those exact words, so it's crazy, but yeah.
And then the second part of the question was, what changes when you intentionally give that same type of love to others?
Ooh. When I intentionally give quality time and words of affirmation, nothing changes. I feel like, because I want it, like you said, because I want to receive it, that's the easiest way for me to give it, you know? So those come naturally to me. So nothing really changes. Again, I think that what I hope changes for the other person is, I hope that it makes them feel seen and heard and understood. But, you know, again, it's just, if that's not the way they want to feel seen, heard, and understood, then it's up to me to, you know, figure out what those things are to make them feel that way. But for me, nothing changes. What about you?
I think it's the same. I think at the end of the day, any relationship, it's a 50-50, at least emotionally. Well, I mean, there's just, well, that's a different story. Anyways, every relationship, it's a 50-50. So it's made off of, it all revolves around understanding. Like, you have to understand me, but I also have to understand you. I can't expect for you to just understand me, but then not put any effort into understanding you. And it goes for emotions, love languages, thoughts, triggers, like just for anything. In order for it to work, both people have to be willing to understand and be understood. Communicate and like get communicated with, I guess, you know? But
it's a give and take. Like,
it's a give and take.
That's definitely it.
And then I will also say, I mean, is this around love languages?
What?
Because there was something that has been lingering through my mind for a while, which is like an understanding that I got, where it's like, women, we tend to have more of an emotional need. Like most men.
That's true.
And I was reading that, I was listening to it in a podcast, but the podcast was saying that most men tend to have physical touch.
Most of them do.
Yeah, most men have physical touch as love language. Most women, they tend to have acts of service. That's the one that goes the most on average. Of course, it's not for every man and woman on earth. Now, that's interesting to see, because if you think about it, men wanting physical touch and women wanting acts of service, women have more of an emotional need, men have more of a physical need, and it translates into more into a relationship where it's like, okay, the man is going to want to, be more active, but the woman needs to feel heard and listen and so on. So what happens then when a woman doesn't feel heard, seen, when a woman doesn't have her emotional needs satisfied, then automatically she's not in the mood to satisfy the physical needs of the man. So then the man will look for physical satisfaction somewhere else, and it just starts this
it's a cycle.
It's an infinite cycle. So now I do believe that men being leaders, that are initiators, so as long as the man is capable to keep his woman emotionally satisfied, because that's
she's
what
definitely going to be open to.
You don't even have to ask for a hug or anything else. Like, your woman is gonna feel emotionally satisfied, so it's automatically gonna want to satisfy you. Which
that's gonna be natural, because like you said, the woman follows the man's lead. And that's another thing that I be having to point out to men. I'll be like, you're the leader, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't even know where you're going, why do you think I'm gonna follow you?
But it's like, if you think about it, like, you're not taking anything off my plate. You're not giving me words of affirmation. You're not making me feel heard. You're not making me feel seen. There's all these things that I'm lacking emotionally, but then you expect me to come home and have intimate activities with you. No, I don't feel like that. I don't feel satisfied emotionally, so I don't even have the desire for more, because now I'm not feeling seen, understood, heard, or anything. Now, on the contrary, if I am feeling all of those things, I cannot wait to go home and reciprocate,
Because most women, I would say most, I'm not going to say all, most women's mind and this are in tune. They work together. So if this isn't stimulated, that's not going to be either. She ain't going to want to. She ain't gonna want to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's true. But like, you have to be able to stimulate me here and here, so that this will follow.
It automatically follows, and that's what they mean when they say that a woman will automatically be submissive to you. Because it's like, if
you can do these two, like get these two things going right here, oh baby, you ain't gotta worry about nothing else. So we just dropped some gems for y'all men. All right, that are out there watching and listening. No, hopefully y'all are actually listening and taking notes, because we're really, for the men, we're really out here giving y'all spitting some game. All right, but
and I think that men don't, most men maybe don't spend enough time, like thinking or reflecting on certain things, or they simply cannot have the woman perspective on it. But y'all getting two women's perspective on this. So
let's see what the people are. They saying anything on Instagram? You can bring the phone over here, maybe, right? So we can see, because we're about to end, you guys. So
yes, let's see
what they were saying. Yeah, we're gonna read some IG comments.
Just talking about physical touch. Somebody said physical touch is their love language, and they said we're both pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Good show. Period. And then we got to go to hot springs. We actually said we were going to go. We should do that.
Yeah,
we should definitely do that.
We should. Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to take one. Yep.
Oh, they're about to take a test, or or is she talking about the trip?
I think it's a he, but
he. I'm sorry. But thank you for the compliment.
Yes, thank you for the compliment.
Look, come on, words of affirmation. Right. Pretty. I know that's right. Look, you already following.
Right.
Okay.
This man got me now.
Yeah. But you guys, with that, we are all done with this episode. But again, let us know in the comments what your love language is. Let us know if you've been on a solo trip. How do you spend quality time by yourself? And just anything that you might want us to know when it comes to love languages, because we're always open to learning as well. So don't gatekeep, okay? Anything that we can take in. And for the men too, we want y'all to comment. We want y'all's perspective on love languages.
That'd be interesting to shoot this episode again with a man, to get the man perspective on love languages.
Let's do it. Oh, I think I'm trying to think. Maybe we could get. We'll talk about who we could use.
We'll talk about.
Yeah. All right, y'all. And on that note, we will see y'all next week. Thank y'all so much for watching. And I said it backwards. My bad. Cut. We're going to do that again. But thank you guys so much for watching and taking the time out of your day to spend a little bit of time with us and listen to what we have to say. And we hope to see y'all next week.
Bye.